What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Think Outside the BlueBox podcast. I am Anthony Rivera. I'm the lead videographer and editor here at BlueBox Digital. And today we have a returning guest by popular demand. I have Mr. Lex The Barber again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me again, dude. Your videos absolutely exploded on TikTok. Your motivational stuff. People like that stuff, man, and I wanted to bring you back and just, you know, let's motivate these people to follow their journey.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's actually something that I plan to start doing, using my TikTok for actually motivating people.
You're good at that, man. You're good at that. I know. I just got a haircut. I don't know if you guys could see, but I just got a haircut, and we were live on TikTok, and you know, it was nothing but motivational speeches, and it was great. It was great.
Yeah, so I mean, I know one of the things that I like to tell people about in the process of going to success is sacrifice. Sacrifice is actually one of those things that you have to really be ready for it. It's not something you could just prepare or plan for. It's just something that you have to be ready to do whenever you decide to become successful. I know that I made a lot of sacrifices in my life. A lot to get to where I am today.
It's part of that, man. It's part of the journey.
It is. It really is. I mean, that journey can take you wherever you want it to take you. And you can either put in the work and get to where you want to go or not. I know that we were talking before about Jim Rohn, and now Jim Rohn, he used to say that people used to go up to him and be like, well, it was easy for you to become rich. And he's like, well, you can't really say that, because it's not that it's easy, it's that I found something that I was good at. And if you're good at doing something, it comes easy to you, and then you just learn how to perfect it good enough that people will gladly pay you for it. And he's like, well, if it was easy for you to become rich, then why isn't everybody rich? And he would say, well, I'll tell you why it's hard for some people to become rich, because it's also easy not to.
It's way easier not to.
Yeah. So I mean, it's easy to become rich, but it's also easy not to, because the difference between the two is you just can't neglect getting started to start doing your job, start doing what you need to do to actually move forward in life.
And that's where the sacrifice comes in, man, because sometimes in your pursuit of this success, you know, you kind of have to give up certain things. Like your free time is one of them.
Right. So, I mean, I know in the last podcast we were talking about the value of time.
It's the most valuable thing in the world.
The most valuable thing, like, doesn't matter how much money you have, you can't buy time. So a lot of people like to waste it. And by wasting it, I'm not saying doing absolutely nothing, which a lot of people do that too, but wasting it in things that are not productive. Like, for example, Netflix marathons. How many binge watching in hours, how many hours and how many days can go by watching episodes on Netflix, like one episode after another. It's like, it's never going to end, because the next season comes out and now you want to watch that too.
Yeah.
And before you realize it, you're wasting so much time watching movies, watching Netflix, and watching just
wasting time.
Wasting time,
yeah,
right?
Wasting
I mean,
time.
Nowadays, there's people that can spend all freaking day on Facebook just scrolling through crap.
And now TikTok.
And through TikTok.
TikTok is a bit addicting, I have to admit.
It really is. And people can, and there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids nowadays that are just like stuck on watching other people playing video games. I'm like, man, when I was a kid, I wanted to play the video game. Now kids are just watching videos of people playing video games. They're not even playing themselves.
Yeah.
And I know that
it's almost like watching sports.
Right. But yeah, I tell my son all the time, and I'm like, you could be doing so much more productive things with this time than watching people playing video games. Like, I know that I was hearing from one of my clients. Her name is Haveen. She's actually the one kind of like a mentor when it comes to like my investments and my like cryptocurrencies and everything. But she was telling me about they're already starting doing what they call like a metaverse, to where kids nowadays are going to be able to use real money with crypto through all these games. And I'm like, okay, well, when that comes, I could understand, you know, playing video games can make you money when that comes along, because you can use real cryptocurrency in these video games. You can actually go to work.
But it's work.
Right.
Yeah, it's not just playing a game for the sake of playing
right.
it.
And you can build things and sell them for real money in the game, and you can actually cash out later on. So I can understand that, but there's a lot of parents that kind of like let their kids just play games or watch TikTok all day and watching that. And you start thinking, you know, what are these kids actually getting out of all this?
They're getting a really short attention span.
And the only thing that they're getting out of it is what the school system is teaching them to be an employee, which we talked in the last one, you know. Being an employee sucks. For me.
Because then your time is owned by someone else.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So being an employee sucks for me. It works out for many other people. And it's great because by no means am I making fun or talking bad about employees, because everyone who wants to become successful at one point or another, we're going to need employees to help us grow. So not everyone has the mindset for being an entrepreneur, and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's not for everybody.
It's not. You really have to have your self-discipline.
Yeah.
And it's like Will Smith says, you know, nowadays throughout time, we actually have a real negative word towards the word discipline. We think it of like punishment, and we think of it as just like getting beat, or you didn't do this the right way, so no cell phone for a week, or no
it's
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right, it's a punishment.
Yeah.
But the word discipline isn't really always about punishment. Discipline is also mental. Like, for example, I've been going to the gym. That's a discipline. You have to make sure you're disciplined in every single day. You wake up, you go get your workout, and then you start your day. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. Get ready by 5:30, hit the gym between 6 o'clock, stay in the gym until 8 o'clock. So I'm usually at the gym between an hour and a half to 2 hours every day. I mean, I've been determining myself that this year I'm going to be doing that. The biggest problem that I've found in my weight loss track is my discipline in food.
Yeah.
In food. So there's discipline in money. There's discipline in life goals. There's discipline in food. There's discipline in everything.
And health, yeah.
Right. Even your health. Like, a lot of people love sugar. They turn out to be diabetic. But they still have a hard time getting to that discipline to stay away from those sugars. It's great. It tastes great. It's killing me, but
you know, sugar. They say sugar is more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It really is.
I've heard that.
And you have withdrawals. Like, if you don't have sugar for a while, you have the same kind of withdrawals. And,
right.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's funny because sugar is in everything now. Sugar, it like literally everything you eat has sugar in it. It's like you can't get away from it.
Right. And then
and it's hard, and that's where the discipline comes in.
Then they try to use those Splendas and stuff, which is
the
probably
artificial
even worse
sweeteners.
than real sugar.
Yeah.
But yeah, that discipline, it's so hard to stay focused.
And it's hard when you don't have like that person coaching you too. You know, it's like it's hard to have discipline when you're doing something by yourself. It's kind of like when you have a job, you always have that mentor or the supervisor or the manager or whatever. They're always you know, kind of watching you, making sure you're doing the right thing. When you're self-employed, you don't have that. You don't have someone that says, okay, you have to wake up at this time, be at work at this time. It's kind of up to you to do that. And it's hard.
It really is. It really is. I know a lot of the times once you start with your discipline and you start doing something for yourself, it's really hard at the beginning if you're trying to go from the employment world into the entrepreneur world, because that's a whole different type of...
It's a whole different mindset.
Completely different mindset and discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the regular world, they're telling you what time to go into work.
Yeah.
They're telling you what you're going to be doing at work. They're going to tell you what time you could take a break. They're going to tell you what time you can go home. They can tell you...
They control your time.
Right. They control your time. You have no control over your life.
Yeah, like asking for vacation time. If they deny it, I mean, what are you going to do?
Right.
You can't take it off.
So once you become an entrepreneur, that discipline is a whole nother ball game, because most people don't even want to work. So if you don't get up out of bed to go work, you don't get paid.
Yep.
So that discipline as an entrepreneur is like, you have to be on top of yourself. You don't have nobody telling you, wake up,
Yep,
go to work,
take a break.
look at the time.
Yeah.
You should be leaving to work right now. Go take a break.
And some people need that though.
They do,
Some people,
which is why I
some
was
people
saying
lack the discipline. Yeah.
there's so many people out there that lack the discipline that they're better off being employees. If they want to convert over and start doing something for themselves, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
You have to like open up your eyes and see, where am I lacking in that discipline? So there's also, I know Robert Kiyosaki, he would talk about like the difference. He calls it the cash flow quadrant. So the cash flow quadrant is basically, if you were to imagine like a plus sign, on the upper left hand side you would have the E. Underneath that you would have the S. On the upper right hand side, I'm trying to do it backward, but on the upper right hand side you would have the B, and underneath that you would have the I. So the E symbolizes for employees, which is where
the majority
of people always
reside.
sit.
Yep.
Right out of school, that's what they teach you.
Yeah.
Be an
Become
employee.
an employee.
So right after an employee, some employees, well, there's a lot of them, but some employees convert from that E to the S, which is a small business.
Small business.
Now, small business could be a doctor's office. It could be a lawyer's clinic. It could be a podcast studio, depending on how big it is. It could be considered a small business, depending on how many employees you have. And then on the upper left-hand side, or on the upper right-hand side, you have the B. The B symbolizes big business. And then underneath that B, you have an I, which is investors. So the majority of people in the world fall between, on the left side of that spectrum, which is the E and the S's.
Employees in small business.
Right. Employees in small businesses. So there's a lack of discipline, which is why a lot of those E's and S's stay in that side of the chart. Those people that are actually able to get that discipline and move over to the B and the I's for big businesses and investors, that's where everybody wants to be. But not everybody has the discipline to get there.
Especially investing.
Especially investing, because you have to have money to make money for you.
Yeah.
So we're taught in school to trade time for money. They don't teach you how to trade money for money, to let the money work for you instead of you working for it. And it's sad. It's sad that they don't teach that, because money works so much better for you than you can for it.
Yeah, and the people on the left side of the quadrant here, they don't see that as a priority.
Right.
It's more of like an afterthought. I know the people on the left side of that spend money and then they invest whatever's left. The people on the right side of the quadrant, they invest first and then spend whatever's left.
That's it. And you know what? I was actually talking to my mentor, Antonio. We're going to get you on here.
We're going to get you on the podcast.
We're going to get you on the
Antonio.
podcast one of these days. But Antonio actually recommended me to read a book that I was reading. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon.
I love that book.
So I was reading the book.
Jim Rohn's inspiration right there.
Really?
He pushes that book so hard.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Antonio was telling me, he's like, let me give you a lesson. If you can get one thing out of that book, is pay yourself 10%. And then he explains it to me. He's like, let me ask you this. You got to pay for your house. You're paying a mortgage. You're paying for your car. Paying auto insurance. You're paying light. You're paying water. You're paying gas. You're paying groceries. And he starts just mentioning a bunch of shit. Mm-hmm. And he's like, so you have a list, right? He's like, you have a list of all these people and companies that you're going to be paying. Why are you not paying yourself? And I was like, that's really smart. Like, I didn't think about that. Why am I not paying? And he's like, it didn't come from me. It comes from The Richest Man in Babylon.
Nice.
And he's like, read that book. And when I started reading it, it made sense too. Because then he's like, you're paying all these people but you're not investing in yourself. Before you even pay anybody else, pay yourself 10%.
Yeah, because if that cash flow stops for whatever reason,
Right.
then your whole entire income is at risk.
Right. Which is the employer's mindset.
Yeah.
Employees have that problem, which is why they always live in fear. Because it's great, I'm employed. Which, by the way, there is absolutely no such thing as job security. Job security is a joke. Anybody can be replaced by anybody at any time.
At any time.
So, I'm sorry, I just got a little sidetracked. Got to make sure that you guys remember that. So, but yeah, I mean, job security there's no such thing as job security. Anybody can be completely replaced at any time for anybody to do the same thing for less.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do and how much you think you're safe. You're not.
What you really need to do is start as soon as you can investing in yourself, not even for any other reason, but you have to cover your own ass. You have to invest in yourself. So always set aside 10% before you pay any bills, because a lot of people, that's what they do. They pay off all their bills and then they go out and have fun and go have drinks
with whatever's left over.
And then if there's something left,
then they'll invest it. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like people in the middle to lower class are on the left side of that quadrant. They spend their money first and then invest what's left over. But the people on the right, they invest first.
Right.
Then
so
spend
big businesses and investors, they invest first, and then now that makes them the money to go have their fun later. And a lot of people
otherwise you're going to be working the rest of your life,
right?
Because you need that paycheck. Like, you're dependent on it instead of having your money work for you. And then eventually it gets to the point where you just let it ride.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't fight for what you want now, you're going to end up having to fight for what you don't want later.
Yeah.
You choose. It's up to you. You're going to have to fight. It's up to you which type of fight you want to have to put up with. So either you do the work now, invest in yourself now to be able to live a better future in the future, or enjoy living an easy life today, watching movies
for the rest of your life. You're going to be in servitude.
Yeah, you're going to have fun now, and then live as a slave later.
And I think that's what basically jobs are. It's literally an enslavement of people, like willful enslavement.
Right.
Like, because you're really dependent on this. Like, you can't eat if you don't work. So it's like once you start the job, you kind of have to stick to it.
And now that you're saying that about having to leave the job, I was reminded the other day, because I don't know if you guys didn't know, my whole life I wanted to be a pilot for the military. I wanted to fly jets and everything. And that's one of those sacrifices that I had to make. I had to choose to give up my dream to fight for custody of my son. And as a pilot, when I used to fly airplanes, you have to make a separation between the plane and the ground. As you're taking off and going up, you realize that you need separation to create elevation.
Yeah.
So in order to elevate, you have to separate from whatever it is that you're attaching yourself to, regardless of whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it's holding you back.
Whatever's holding you back, or whatever things you have in your mind, like fear, you got to let go.
And the separation is inevitable. Once you start rising, you have to. I mean, it's either that or stay on the ground the whole time.
Right.
And sometimes that separation is with not necessarily physical things, but sometimes it's people. Sometimes it's places. Sometimes you have to separate yourself from the environment that you're in, because I've heard it said that, you become the average of the 5 people that you hang around with.
Yeah. And
if you're hanging around those 5 people that always want to go out to bars, always, want to go out and party, that's kind of where the separation begins, because they are holding you back. They're kind of like an anchor in that sense.
Yeah, Will Smith, and it's funny I keep mentioning him because he's such a good motivational speaker. It's like Antonio says, he's like, that man's not even human.
Yeah.
That man is like...
He says straight up motivation.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the things that Will Smith said was, let me get your cell phone and look at the 5 or 10 people that you last messaged and tell me what that was about. If those 5 or 10 people are not feeding your fire, they're pissing on it.
They're putting it out.
They're putting it out. Who are we hanging out with? What are we talking about?
That's why I was actually talking to one of the guys that was on the podcast about, he's a comedian, and I told him, like, what do you do outside of comedy? And he's like, I don't. Like, I literally, all my friends are comedians. Like, I surrounded myself with people that do the same thing, that are like-minded, and that's how he's able to get to where he's at. Yeah, he only hangs around the people that are in the same industry as his. And, you know, it's people that are doing better than him. You know, sometimes it's celebrities that do comedy that he actually met one of his inspirations, actually came to one of his shows and told him, look, bro, like, you got it. You know, right. You have the talent. So that, I mean, that kind of reinforcement is what you need in your life. Those are the kind of people that you need. The people that are just pushing you up, and they see the talent. They're, you know,
you got to surround yourself with people that see the greatness in you, even if you don't see it in yourself.
Yeah.
Then you have to have dreams that are so big that it can also scare small minds. Because if you have small dreams, anybody can achieve that. But you really got to push yourself to your max, to your potential, which is what we were talking about on the last podcast. You know, the fear of failure holds so many people back, you know, because a lot of people, once they fail, they quit. And I don't see failure as, oh, I didn't make it. No, the way that I see failure is as a prolonged victory. You only fail if you quit.
That's it. If you don't quit, you're not going to fail.
Right. Because I know Armando was making fun of me because in the last podcast I was talking about I never quit anything in life. I don't quit anything. I never quit. And he texted me. He's like, you quit on the gym. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's coming back though.
I was like, but you know what? I got my membership already.
Yeah.
I've been going to the gym. I'm doing my thing. I'm eating healthier. So
baby steps.
So I told him that day, it was like, I never quit. I stopped for a little bit.
I just took a break.
I took a break, but I'm back into it. So technically I didn't quit.
Yeah.
I keep going. So whenever you stop doing something, if it's temporary, get back into it because it's just a prolonged victory. Yeah. You only fail if you quit.
And it's that fear, man. That fear holds you back.
It does. It does. It always comes back to fear.
To fear. And it's funny they mentioned Will Smith is because he actually has a really good speech about fear. And it's basically, he's telling the story of whenever he went skydiving for the first time. And he was around his friends, and, you know, everybody was talking, and, you know, yeah, let's go skydiving, yeah. And everybody was super excited about it. When he gets home, he's scared as fuck. Like, he is terrified. But he doesn't want to back out. He wants to, like, his friends, the peer pressure and all that stuff gets to him. So he's like, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go out there and do it. And he was hoping that nobody was there when he showed up. But everybody was there. And they get on the plane, and this dude's nerves are off the charts. Like, he's super nervous, and he's afraid, and almost didn't get any sleep the night before because he was so afraid. And it was just, the anxiety was just killing him on the inside. And as soon as you step off of that plane and you feel that freedom and that rush of adrenaline, it just, all the fear just goes away. And that he made that into a metaphor of life. Like, everything that's good in life is on the other side of fear. You just have to get past that. And once you get past that, you see what's possible.
Right.
And you see what you can do if you just, because even he says it, fear is going to play a part in your life. It's going to play a role in your life, whether you want it to or not. The fact that you can control how much that affects your life is powerful, dude, because, I mean, you know that this is coming. You know that this fear, right, this barrier is going to be there, but you don't care, right? Like, you're willing to put yourself through that to see what's on the other side of it.
Right. And I know that's one of the things that he was talking about in that same, I watched that too. Mm-hmm. He said, everything until the point where I literally stepped off the plane, all that fear
was for nothing.
For nothing.
Because it's one of the most amazing experiences he's ever had.
Right. So sometimes we hold ourselves back with that fear. And we know next week I'm going to go skydiving. And you're already scared from now. Like, oh, my God, I know you've gone skydiving. Yeah. I'm so jealous.
Quite a few times.
But, yes, I mean, even the night before, he said that he was like stressing out. He's like, I don't know why the hell I was even stressing out, because everything up until the point where you actually jump out is pointless to be all that.
Yeah,
fearful.
what are you afraid of? Like,
Right.
nothing's happened yet. Like,
Right. Nothing has happened. So what are you so afraid of?
Yeah.
I even lost sleep over it. So that's another one of those.
And it becomes a physical reaction, man. Like your body like starts sweating, and you
Right.
get anxious, your heart starts racing. So it's a physical reaction to
Right.
fear. But you just got to get through it, man.
That's it.
You just got to get to the other side. So yeah, I want to take this time to give a shout out to the TikTok account BlueBox Podcast, because we posted some of the videos from the last episode that Alex and I did, and it's just absolutely exploded. So we wanted to take this time to kind of go through some of the comments, because you guys had a lot to say about some of the topics we talked about. So we're just gonna go through and just read some of the comments on some of the TikToks that we posted. You want to start with that?
All right, so yeah, one of the comments that actually stuck with me comes from Blessed in 7 Adonis. So shout out to you, because we've had a lot of people commenting about the things that barbers do for people, like when you look good, you feel good, and there was some negative comments with people saying you're just a barber, you just cut hair. And this person, the Blessed in 7 Adonis, commented something that stuck with me. It said, even a king has to take off his crown for his barber.
That's
and
powerful.
That is deep.
That's powerful.
Because I never even thought about that. Because, I mean, the
king
barber
needs a
takes
haircut.
care of everyone. But even a king has to take off his crown for the barber. That's
Yeah,
the
man,
only person that he'll take it off for.
It's funny because some of the other hairstylists and barbers, they felt you, man. Like they understood because they've been through the same thing. So they were commenting, yeah, I mean, we're a lot more than just hair people.
Right. And there was, I was touched by quite a few comments of fans out there that are currently alive because something like that also happened to them. And all I can say to you guys is, life is always going to hit you. And it's not how hard you get hit, but it's about getting back up and keep moving forward. Because nobody's going to hit as hard as life. But keep your head up, keep moving forward. Even if you don't feel like you're in a spot to be a blessing to others. I know I was messaging one of the fans that she was telling me, like, I can't bless anybody because I'm broken. I was like, sometimes it's us broken people that can be the biggest blessings to others because we understand.
You've gone through it.
We've gone through it.
Yeah.
And I can't stress it enough how much it is to always try to be there for others. There's a lot of people that don't want nobody to be there for you. And to those people, I'm just telling you, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Because you can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. But if it's somebody who's broken, that all they need is just a hand.
Just a booster, man. Just
an
a confidence
ear
booster.
to listen.
Yeah, just an ear to listen to.
Because it's not even about me giving advice as a barber sometimes. It's about
listening.
Some people just don't even have nobody to talk to.
Especially men.
And we talked about this in the last podcast because women love talking about their problems to their friends. But men just feel like they're not man enough if they have to talk about their problems. And as somebody who has been broken and learned how to get himself back up multiple times, a lot.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I understand life is always going to beat you. It's always going to knock you down. But we choose to get back up. If you choose to let life keep you down,
it's a choice.
It's a choice. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that love living their lives as victims.
Mm-hmm.
They like people to feel sorry for you. But nobody wants to hear the story about the poor person that everybody feels sorry for. Everybody wants to hear the story of men and women that endured pain and that they actually went through hell
And
came out at the other side still punching and kicking.
Still here.
And now they're up afloat, doing great, being there for those that are about to get into it.
Or that are currently going through stuff.
Yeah, or going through it.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because that's why I like TikTok so much, man. It's such an open community and there's so many like-minded people, and yeah, there's going to be some negativity, but you're going to find people that, you know, kind of relate to what you're going through.
Yeah.
It's such a diverse group of people that are on there, and they're all, the majority of them are really, really supportive. So I've found some people on there that, you know, they support me in a way that even some family members don't.
Right.
It's crazy.
And that now that you mention that, don't be disencouraged if things are not going the way you want it to go, or if things are not going as you plan. Because I know that there's a lot of people out there that the first people that are disencouraging them to following their dreams and their passions is their own family.
Yeah. So people closest to them.
Right. And one of the things that I got to say about that is you can't get to where you want to go if the examples that you have in your life are not what you want to be. So, for example, if your father, God forbid, if let's say your father's an alcoholic, your mother's a drug addict or this and that, because it happens. It happens. I mean, you have people that come from these families that are like, well, this is what I came from.
So I have no choice.
I have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
heard that
this
so
is
much.
where I come from. This is what I was taught. So
this is what I went
this
through.
is what I need, where I need to be.
Yeah.
But life is not that. I always tell my son that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% what you do with it. It's up to you to change your life, because my son is 12 years old and he's gone through more things that most adults probably still haven't experienced, between the battles and everything with his mom. But life is 10% what happens to you and 90% what you do with it. You can choose to live the rest of your life having people feeling sorry for you, or you can choose to get your ass up and use that as motivation to never go back to that place. People are inspired by the stories of men and women that go through hell.
Because they can relate, man.
Right.
They can relate. It's relatable. I mean, life sucks.
Right. And you know what? And if it's not relatable, then lucky you. You're blessed.
I've actually commented that on some of our TikTok videos. It's like, yeah, because some of the people commenting some of the negative stuff, it's like, yeah, you don't feel this way.
Right.
You know, but other people do not feel this way. So thank you for your opinion, but it's not the general consensus.
Right. So I know that there was a lot of negative comments saying that I was making this up, that it was for publicity or for marketing. It was a great marketing. People who comment things like that are probably part of the problem, not part of the solution. And the one thing that I can honestly tell you is we need to be there for each other. Like, that's, people that are negative like that is probably the reason why this world is as shitty as it is now for many people.
Yeah.
Because, like, I personally like to go places, and I've tried to make myself a habit of whenever I go anywhere, I try to give people a compliment about anything. If it's a guy, I mean, you know, I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable, but like, yo, that's a sexy shirt. But no, I'm like, that's a nice shirt, man. Yeah. Or the shoes, like, bro, I really like those shoes.
It's a small
like,
things,
nice
man.
hat.
It's the small things.
Right. Just a nice compliment. I mean, and it's not even has to be flirtatious. Like, I'll go to like a restaurant and the waitress has really beautiful nails, and I'm like, I love your nails. And then that just gives them like a boost of like self-esteem.
Yeah.
And little comments like that, you don't have to, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost anything to give somebody a compliment to make themselves feel better.
Or
and
just keep scrolling. Like, if you're going to be negative.
Right. If you got something negative to say, listen, just keep your mouth shut.
Just keep scrolling, yeah.
Keep scrolling.
Like, who are you helping? Like, what is the purpose of your comment?
Right. Like, there was a lot of people putting the little hat, like cap. Like,
yeah.
Nobody cares about your comment like that. Like, try to use TikTok for the good, like for motivating.
Be supportive,
Be supportive, you know. just because you're skeptical and your life sucks doesn't mean that everybody else's life out there sucks.
And I actually replied to him and said, you know, the advertising industry has gotten so bad that people can't tell the difference between a genuine story and a lie.
Right.
And it's crazy, man, because I mean, we've been lied to so much that it's kind of like that's people's first reaction when they hear something like that that's just completely unbelievable. But it happened. Like, I know that story is true.
Well, we had people commenting on there saying, listen, I had the same thing happen to me and I'm still alive because I had somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
But there's so many people out there that's so skeptical. And I know there's even little kids on TikTok that just want to try to pretend to be bullies and stuff. But
yeah, they just want to get a reaction out of you.
Right. And that's exactly what we don't give. Like I think me personally, I like to, comment. And I reach out to anybody who feels like they're broken. Like if I notice somebody comment something, I'll reach out to them and just DM them and listen. I'll tell them, listen, if you need anybody to talk to, this is my number. This is my account. You can always message me, call me. Like I try to be a positive influence to people because that's the only way that this world is going to work. Like, life sucks as it is.
Yeah. And we don't have to make it harder on each other.
Right. If people only understood, just get along. It's funny because it's like they say, can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
That's become like an expression that people just use.
Yeah.
Like just to try to make fun of the situation. Can't we all just get along? And it's like, there's something deep behind that.
Yeah. There's a lot of insecurities, a lot of, childhood trauma sometimes. And sometimes it comes out without them even knowing that they're doing that. Like they think they're being constructive and they think they're being helpful, but it just comes out like a dick.
Right. Yeah. And then it's just people a lot of the time are negative on social media and skeptic about everything because of their negativity.
Mm-hmm. And it's society too, man. The whole fake news and just everybody's so skeptical about the stuff online now.
Nobody believes anybody about anything.
The line between the truth and fiction is blurred.
Right.
It's completely blurred.
No, and it's true. It's like nobody believes anything. So it's gotten to the point where people's skepticism of everything is turning this world into just such a negative place to even live in.
Yeah. Because everything is, you're skeptical of everything.
Right.
It's like, what are you trying to sell me? What are you trying to,
Right.
It's like, I'm not trying to sell you anything, man. I'm just trying to better your life.
Right. And it's funny because nowadays, like, you can't even give somebody a compliment without them thinking, well, what do they want?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want anything. I just want to say nice shirt.
I've noticed too, that's a Southern thing too. That's like United States South. Everybody just wants to help each other. I think the further you go north, the more people are like,
and the further
distancing.
You go west.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed a lot of people that come from the West Coast, like California and stuff,
they're so used to being so cold and distant with each other that when they come down here, we're like, hey, what's going on? Like we genuinely care, and they see that as like, yeah, what do you want from me? Why are you acting like this?
Right.
Like, no, bro, it's just who we are, I do have to say though, the majority of the comments were positive. So we appreciate everyone that follows us on BlueBox Podcast. We post 1 minute videos of the podcast because I know a lot of people don't have the time to do the full hour or the full 45 minutes or whatever it is. So we just post little clips on there, and the community that we built, that account has exploded, and we're very grateful for everybody that's kind of following us along on our journey. And we hope that we've been an inspiration to you and to follow your journey. It's that's what we're here for. We're not trying to sell you anything. Right. We're just sharing information.
We're not here trying to promote. We're not trying to market. Like, I really don't care about anybody coming to me to get their haircut. Like, I'm not here to get new clientele. I'm here to promote mind changes.
The mindset.
I'm trying to change people's mindset to knowing, you don't have to be stuck doing what you're doing if that's not what you're happy with.
And one guy made a comment like, what if you're happy doing that? And that's okay. I mean, if you're happy following that and having a job and having an easy life and going home and binge watching Netflix, absolutely. Like, have at it.
Right.
That you can live your life how you want. We're just talking to the people that are not okay with that.
Right.
That are looking for something bigger and better, and you know, they don't want to be stuck in the same place the rest of their lives. And it's just two different people, two different type of people. And some of the people on the other side kind of take that personally because they do enjoy their job. You know, they're happy with where they are, and that's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with enjoying what you do. I mean,
yeah, if you genuinely enjoy it.
If you love what you do and you love your life, then congratulations. You're making the right choices.
Yeah,
you're making the right choices. But if you hate your life and you hate what you do,
you want to make changes,
you're doing the wrong things.
Yeah.
So
you can't do the same thing year in and year out and expect different results.
Right. I mean, that's what Albert Einstein said. The very definition of insanity is to do the same thing over again, over and over, and expect a different result. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
you can't get a different result doing the same thing. You have to make a change.
Yeah, if you want a better life, you have to do better things.
Right.
Like, you can't do the same thing you've been doing for a while and expect it to be, you know, just magically. So a lot of people do that. You know, they kind of get in the routine of every day. They go to their job every day, and they get into this routine, and it feels normal to them. So it's like they lose sight of anything else that they may have had, any ambition or anything, and it stifles that.
It does.
It pushes it down.
So it's so easy to lose sight of things whenever you're trying to move forward. The best advice that I can give to anybody trying to do something for themselves is just don't quit. Just keep showing up. No matter what happens, just keep showing up. Even if nobody believes in you, just believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, yeah. You're the only person that needs to believe in you.
Right. And if nobody wants to invest in you, invest in yourself. That we were talking about earlier, that 10%.
Yeah.
Pay yourself. Invest in yourself. And investing in yourself isn't always just with money. It's also in just investing in your mind.
Feed your mind, yeah.
Feed your mind with just motivational things, just knowledge, reading books. I've heard different people say, you know, I'd rather buy 1,000 books to get more knowledge than to go buy a Lamborghini. I'm more proud of all the books that I have that help me have the mindset that I have now to be able to afford that later.
Yeah.
But just investing in your mind, and that with nowadays in technology, you don't have to pay anything.
It's so free. Easy to do, yeah. It's so easy to do. Just join us on TikTok. You know?
Right. I mean, even our TikTok account, where we're the BlueBox podcast, and then the Lex The Barber 23. I'm actually going to be changing my podcast now to just doing just all motivational and positive, inspirational TikTok? On my TikTok.
Yeah, you said your podcast.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. So yeah, so that's another one of the things that I'm going to be doing now on my TikTok. I'm just going to convert my TikTok to just do nothing but just positive, motivational things for everyone, just to kind of help keep their mindset right. And no matter what, guys, just believe in yourself. When nobody else believes in you, just believe in yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
That's all that really matters.
Because nobody else is going to put in the work for you. You have to do it yourself. As bad as it's going to suck, not everybody has the luxury of having good friends that'll do it with you.
Yeah.
So when you don't have that luxury, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself. Invest in yourself. Thank yourself daily for all the hard work that you're putting in, like Snoop Dogg would say. And
best of all, I want to thank me.
I want to thank me.
You have to thank yourself, man, because you're the one putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one putting in the work. And yeah, you're going to have people that are going to help you along the way, hopefully. But at the end of the day, it comes back to you.
Yeah, even if you don't see the results right away, just keep going at it.
I like the metaphor you had last time with the gym. where it's like you go seeking failure.
Right, right. So that was actually Will Smith.
Yeah.
So when like you have to seek failure. Don't be disencouraged when you don't achieve what you want right away or in the time period that you want. You're actually seeking failure because that's where all the lessons are. That's where your adaptation becomes and gets into place, because you go to the gym actually seeking failure, taking your muscles to the point where they want to quit, because that's where your body learns to adapt itself and adjust what it needs to be able to grow. So if you're not seeking failure, then you're not even trying. And if you don't fail, then you're not pushing yourself hard enough. So you should be doing harder.
Yeah, if you're not failing, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
And I heard too, if everyone loves you, there's something wrong with you.
Right. Right.
Because you're going to piss people off on the way to the top.
Yeah. And you're going to lose a lot of friends on the way to the top. And that's okay. You're not going to make everybody happy.
You can't.
For example, go on TikTok.
Yeah.
Read through the comments. You have people that you make happy. You have people that you piss off. You have people that are just negative, and you have people that are positive. And all those negative people, most of the time, just don't ever revolve or become anything, because that negativity,
it eats at you, man.
It eats at you, and that's something that just stays with you. And sometimes there's a lot of these negative people that don't even realize they do it.
It's so ingrained in who they are, man. They just immediately go to the negative. Everything they see, everything they see is just like snap judgment.
Right. And if you have a negative mindset and everything that you see is negative and everything that happens to you is bad and there's no positive, that's what you're attracting. So if you notice that everything is negative, because I've known people, and there's even people in our family that are so negative about things that it's overwhelming how negative things are for them. And then you wonder, actually, I don't wonder, I know now why they're still down there. And when you try to help them up, their negativity just outdoes any positive that you're doing for them. That
it's because they see your advice as an attack. Like you don't like how I'm living my life. You want me to live like you're living. They take it personal.
Right.
They take it personal.
So they'd rather stay down there.
Yeah.
Which is why I said last time, people rather argue against the successful than to learn from them.
I would love to just sit down with a billionaire. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just for a couple hours.
Yeah.
To pick their brain.
And there's so much people out there that are very successful and have already given up on trying to help all the idiots that refuse to want to live like them. Everybody wants to be rich, but nobody wants to work for it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to become successful, but nobody wants to put in the work. Nobody wants to put in the time.
They want the easy, quick.
Right. Which is why there's so much scams out there with a get rich easy.
Yeah.
If getting rich was easy, well, everybody would be rich. Like, what's the point of... But if you really want to be wealthy, you really want to become successful, you have to change your mindset. There's absolutely no other way.
Yeah. Yeah, because your current mindset is what got you into your current situation.
Right. And which is one of those things, like I was explaining a little bit ago, if growing up, all you see is a certain example from your friends, family, there's some people that take business advice from their parents, and their parents
aren't business owners.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're employees. And they've been probably trying to raise you into being an employee, telling you have to go to school. Like, how are you trying to get more money if you don't go to college and get an associate's, get a bachelor's, get a master's, get a doctorate? Most of the millionaires that I know never even finished school. How did they become millionaires?
Yeah, most of them don't have any degrees.
Right. And getting advice from people who are not where you want to be, it's never going to take you where you want to go.
It's going to take you where they are.
Right.
Where they currently are.
And if they're not happy with their lives, why would I want that?
Yeah.
So I know that we've been blessed to have parents that support us no matter what the hell we decide. I know we said that on the last podcast, but I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that don't have that support, which goes also to what I just finished saying a little bit ago.
Or they have the support, but it's in a negative. Like they have family members that keep supporting them, but at the end of the day, it's actually hurting them.
Right. If you don't have parents that support you, and unfortunately there's a lot of people out there that don't even have parents at all, whether you're adopted or your parents passed, whatever your situation is, if you don't have anyone to believe in you, believe in yourself. That's the most important thing out there. The most important part in the world is just to believe in yourself. Nobody wants to invest in you. Invest in yourself. There's always a way to get out of whatever situation you are and be a blessing to others. It's not about what am I going to get out of it. It's about what am I going to give the world, and then the world will give you something in return.
But you can't expect it.
You can't expect it.
You can't be doing things and expecting someone to do something for you.
Because if you're doing things expecting somebody to do something for you, you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
I was just gonna say you're gonna be disappointed.
Right.
You're putting these expectations on the people that don't have the same expectations.
Right. Setting yourself up for a disappointment to yourself, it's only gonna beat you down even worse than if somebody did it to you.
Yeah. Damn. I think we're going to end it there, man. That was deep. We always end on a really deep note. We can go down the rabbit hole, man. I love it.
Yeah, we're going to be here for days.
Yeah, right? It's going to be like a 3-hour podcast. Well, again, you can follow us along on BlueBox Podcast. We're on TikTok, and now we're actually on Instagram as well, BlueBox Podcast. We're just going to be posting some 60-second clips from this podcast. I know a lot of people don't have the time to watch the entire thing, so they just kind of go in there and just absorb some of the little bite-sized content that we put out there. So if you want to follow us there, Mr. Lex the Barber, where can they find your stuff, man?
Well, I have all the social medias. On Facebook, I have Lex the Barber. On Instagram, I have Lex the Barber 23. My TikTok is also Lex the Barber 23. And I've been starting to post more than what I used to post before. But yeah, I'm definitely going to start posting a lot more things now just to try to help out people. So you can find me through social media. You can even search on Google, Lex the Barber.
Lex the Barber.
I'm in the Tampa, Florida area, so you might not be able to find me on Google if you're in a different state.
If you're outside of Florida, yeah.
Or whatever. But you can reach out to me through social media. I mean, my phone number's everywhere. You can probably put the phone number on the bottom right here. It's 813-956-6612. I don't answer the phone when I'm cutting hair, so just for everybody out there just to know, the best way to get a hold of me is through text message. And I'll text you back as soon as I finish the haircut. But if you want to reach out to me, regardless whether it's about appointments or not, or if this is actually part 2 of the podcast that we originally did about just motivational stuff and business and just helping others get their mindset right. If you want us to have a part 3, just reach out to us and just let us know, what kind of things would you like us to talk about? The power of knowledge. I can't stress it enough. And if it's something that I can share my knowledge with everybody out there, I will. Because I'm all about growing along with others. I'm not just here to grow for myself.
The rising tide rises all boats.
That's it.
So you help other people, you guys rise together.
And all those negative people throwing caps on the comments and stuff, you can go out into the ocean and keep sinking yourself.
Yeah. While
the rest of us continues to rise, because we need to be a part of the solution, not be part of the problem.
And on that, we're going to end it, man. So anyway, you guys can find us on Instagram. If you want to reach out and send us a message, we actually have a messaging option on the podcast. If you go to podcast.blueboxdigital.com and then follow the link to Anchor, you can actually leave us a voicemail message, and we'll play it on the show. And the next time, I'm sure you're going to be back soon. So the next time we have Lex the Barber here, we're going to read your questions and play your messages. And if we helped you in any way, if we inspired you, which is the reason why we're doing this, if we helped you in any way, reach out. You know, we love stories, and obviously we would love to share it with everyone that's watching. We're going to post everything on not only on the podcasting channels but also on YouTube. So if you want to head over there, if you're not watching this on YouTube already, head over to youtube.blueboxdigital.com. It'll take you to our YouTube channel. And if you want to be on the podcast, if you want to be here sitting with me and talking about your journey and some things that inspired you to follow your passion, reach out. You know, DM me on either TikTok or Instagram. I'm always on there. Or you can reach out, info@blueboxdigital.com. Just shoot us an email saying, hey, this is what I do. I'd love to be on the podcast and featured. And we'll have you on here. But other than that, thank you for joining me, man.
Oh, thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah, part 2 is just as good as the part 1. So, so we'll be back with part 3 very soon. So, again, thanks again. My name is Anthony Rivera. I'm the lead videographer at BlueBox Digital, and thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. This was Think Outside the Blue Box. Thank you.